Next we have John Repulsas. I'm sorry, I totally butchered your name.
Hi, my name is Marshall Mother. Yeah, I was actually in the audience in LA Asian Pacific Film Festival when the contest was announced, and I was inspired to do this film. Yeah, the hardest part was getting around the 4 lines of dialogue. It was really, really dark. It looks a lot better online. I think everyone can say that about their films tonight. Yeah, just trying to get around 4 lines of dialogue, so I told through the perspective of a deaf girl, so that way I could like get around the dialogue and everything. Was to say something inspirational. I lived in LA for 6 years, but I really didn't get my voice as a filmmaker until I moved back to the Bay Area. A lot of the misconceptions of people who live in the Bay says, oh, you have to move down to LA if you want to do film. Maybe 20 years ago, but not today. And like, you know, since I moved back, I had my own TV show, produced commercials up here. Before Mother, I had a film that played across, a short film that played across the US at festivals. You could do it from the Bay. If you have something to say, if you have a vision, you want to say something, you could do it from here. That's probably the biggest, because I lived in LA for 6 years and it just didn't really pan out. But moving back here is where I really, the support of the great artists here and the environment here is way more conducive, I think artistically than LA is personally. And check out my films at youtube.com/12one. So, good times.
Thank you, John. Next we have Jeffrey Chin. Just kidding.
Again, hello. And I'm not Jeffrey, but he also cannot make it here tonight, but we did have a solution, and he did send us a video clip of himself talking about his film. So again, a little technical difficult. We gotta do a little laptop swapping, but give me a couple seconds and we'll have that up for you.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey G. Chin, and I'd like to congratulate all of you for your completion of your Interpretations films. My story, Once Upon a Time in Dubai, is a story about a young Indian immigrant who lucks out when a local takes him out for the night of his life. The story is a story about brotherhood, family, and community. I felt that was very important, very central to the types of narratives I produce. The film didn't come without any difficulties. In fact, when producing the narrative, we lost a whole day of footage because one of my cards burnt out due to the intense heat. So left with 1 day of footage, I ended up piecing together this narrative that you watched, and hopefully you enjoyed it. As a filmmaker, I find it important to be persistent and use what you can to make your narrative come to life. Growing up, I started filmmaking, producing Spanish videos. And I thought to myself, why not produce narratives that have long-lasting value? I started producing narratives about my family's heritage, producing a documentary about visiting my grandfather's village in Toisan, China. Currently, I work with Angel Island Immigration Station, where I share stories about immigrants who crossed the Pacific and persevered through their hardships. And in fact, I filmed Tyrus Wong, the lead artist of Bambi, over this past week or so. Now, I leave you with this last bit of information. Filmmaking is about telling stories, and I hope that all of you continue to tell stories about your life, good or bad, whatever inspires you, whatever makes your creative mindset come to life. Feel free to check out my work at leapmanproductions.com, and thanks to Howard and Jason for all their work that they put together to create this film festival. Thank you very much.
That was a nice little video he made for us. Anyways, next we have Henry Kim, who I'm hoping is here.
Hi. So first I want to thank Jason and Howard because I think that they're doing something really awesome. Okay, basically this movie is it's actually a feature, so I feel kind of guilty that it's even in the contest because I was originally going to do like this whole short idea specifically for it, but I was so busy with this that I didn't have time, and so I just thought, okay, I'll just cut it down to 3 minutes. And the movie's actually in English, and I just love French films and Godard and stuff like that, so I was like, oh, I'll just do like a French reimagining or something. That's how friends do the voiceover. Yeah, basically it's just like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of movie. It's like if Badlands had a baby with Bonnie and Clyde, and True Romance had a baby with The Getaway, and then their babies had a baby, and it was made by an Asian American filmmaker. It'd be this. By the way, that guy is half Asian. So I don't want people to be like, what's up with the white dude and the Asian girl or something like that. Like, and when he told me that, I didn't believe him. I made him send me family pictures. So, I'm serious, he's half Burmese. Really cool. So anyways, okay, after that. Okay, so inspirational stuff. Basically, like, I study film, like, really intensely, and I think, like, if you look at the history of minorities in film, they go through stages. You know, first it's like, I don't want to be an accountant or whatever it is. I want to make movies. And then it's like, how do I make a movie? And then it's like, I want to make movies about my life. And then you're like, I just want to make a good movie. And then I feel like we're finally at the point where we're like getting that like Asian American issues out of our system, and it's like time to just like make films that anybody would want to watch, you know, that everybody could relate to. But I think the next level after that is actually to make films that change cinema, you know? So like as artists, we should definitely always be thinking in terms of like new storytelling techniques, like really pushing the art so that anybody who watches it could say like, wow, this is like something different, you know? And that's how you actually influence the industry and how you influence the world. So, you know, I want to see like the next like Asian American Godard or Wong Kar-wai or somebody that like the international community will look at and be like, I want to steal their stuff, you know? So after that, more women in film. Like Asian Americans are like at the tipping point, so I think it's great if more female directors like get in on that because they'll have like more of a voice. Oh yeah, and the last thing, if you're in the Bay Area and you're a filmmaker and you're serious about like doing it here and you don't support the festival, the Asian American Film Festival, then you're really not part of the community because they're like the people and they do a lot of good stuff. And you know, I've worked with them for several years now. And so, you know, if you guys are here, I'm guessing you guys would be down to go like to the festival and watch some cool movies that you'll never see anywhere else. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Henry. Next we have Joey Yee.
I just want to say real quick too, Joey is actually one of the 5 winners of the interpretations contest.
I don't really have any overarching morals to give to you, so I'll just talk about one of the things that I really stress with films is that you always want to put in some sort of personal experience into each one that you make, or at least that's what I do. I'm not going to go into any details for this one, but it was really important to me, to put in film what I learned in my own life. So, one of the things I really liked about the festival though was that it was all written for me. I didn't need to add anything to the script because I suck at writing already, so it was pretty easy. Another thing that I would give to aspiring filmmakers is that you really should not worry about budget too much, especially when starting out. Because film as just a hobby is really, really expensive. I think you start off spending a couple $1,000s before you make your first film. So, like the budget for this film right here was $1.50 for the bottle that you see in there. And that came with a free Coke too. So just start small, and then as you people start to see your work, then you can start piggybacking on their bank account and start working with them instead. And one of the main problems I had making this was being in front of the camera at the same time as being behind it. So it's really a stressful situation when you don't have a dedicated camera person that you can trust. So people like say Woody Allen and even Tyler Perry, as much as you might despise some of his movies, they show a lot of talent when they are just as capable in front of the camera as behind. So I have nothing else to say.
Thank you, Joey, for that. I think that's an important lesson. Utilize your resources. Our next person I'm going to introduce is actually a really special guest. Her name is Caroline Lee, and I'm going to read this off script because she has so many accomplishments. Caroline holds a BA in Radio, Television, and Film Production at San Jose State University and an MA in Visual and Media Arts at Emerson College in Boston. She is the 2007 recipient of the Tang Scholarship and was nominated for Best Director at the 2008 Sundance Film Festival for her film The Thing Stolen. Please welcome Caroline Lee.
I guess I just want to share a very short story about how I got into film. They say that everything happens for a reason, and I guess that explains why I failed my introduction to business class. That led me to film. Originally, I spent some time researching what I should study in, and it was either between a kinesiologist or study into kinesiology or filmmaking. But more so, I took in a personality test, and it said that I had the personality between a gardener and a dentist. So I realized, okay, I have all these options, but what's really going to utilize my creativity? What's really going to challenge me? And from there, that's where I kind of backed up, and I was like, I really love photography. And photography is essentially a picture that does say 1,000 words. And with that, think about film, and for each second, it's 60 frames. And so 60 frames of a picture says a lot. So what type of message are you trying to say in your films? And from there, I took a course out in San Francisco. It's called QuackMap, and it's the Queer Women of Color Media Arts Project. And I found that particular organization to be the most significant experience in my life because I've gone full circle. I did my first narrative film through QuackMap, which is called Things I'll Never Say. And Madeline Lim, who is the executive director of QuackMap, said, the best stories, the best films are the ones that have been lived and experienced. And so from there, I was able to just write and be able to just really expel all these stories that I lived through. And essentially because, I was born and raised here in San Jose, and there's a lot going on here. Growing up as an Asian American, as a queer Asian American, especially being a queer Asian American youth. And so from there, I wanted to really reach out to my community, especially because I strongly identify as a Vietnamese American, but I felt marginalized within my community. And so, this was my means of communication with the Vietnamese community. La Petite Salon, which is my most recent film, has to deal with a Vietnamese hair salon. The entire story is, 3/4 of it's in Vietnamese, and it's only because I want to stay really true to the story. And it really focuses on the mother-daughter relationship. More so, just like I really wanted to focus on Asian-born parents versus the American-born child. And these are reoccurring themes in in all my short films, mostly about just what it's like to just grow up, feeling a little different, but still wanting to be a part of that community. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope you guys enjoy.